I do commend to you that at some stage in your life, you write the story of your life, even if you only do it for your children or your grandchildren, because you will learn an enormous amount from it. You learn by writing, and you learn by talking. All the statistics show that when you leave this room at 12:30 this morning, you will only remember 18% of what I have said to you. And by the time you go to bed tonight, you will only recall 5%. Probably one of the two pictures I'm going to show you, and one or two of the stories, so you'll forget the point of the story. And by the end of the week, you will just remember one idea, if I'm lucky. I, on the other hand, will remember every single word that I have said, because I have learnt it by heart before I came to meet you. So I will learn much more than you from this morning. Interesting, because if that applies to me, it applies to you. And therefore it also applies, for instance, to my students. In other words, if they do the talking and the teaching, they will learn more than myself, who will listen to them. So by the time I had resolved this in my teaching career at the London Business School, in my last 2 years, I gave no lectures. I spoke not at all in the class, except at the very beginning, when I would assign to various groups of the students certain inquiries, pieces of active research out there in the world, saying to them, for instance, go and investigate in different organizations, and I will list you 5 potential ones, what actually motivates people, and why is it different in a hospital or in a bank? Or what organizational structure produces most creativity? Go look. And come back towards the end of the semester and teach the rest of the class what you have learnt. Oh, and right at the end, each of you write me an individual 3,000-word essay saying what you have learnt and how it is going to change your life. And all that I did was sit in the back of the class and ask rude questions from time to time. The rest of the faculty did not appreciate what I was doing. And indeed, the Japanese students asked for their money back. But I have to tell you, most people learnt a lot. I mean, the rest of the faculty said, well, what on earth is my job if I'm not here to pontificate and tell them what I'm doing? And the students were not in the class. They were outside in the real world. Unheard of. We want them there, sitting, listening at my feet. So it was never imitated, but it still worked. I said to an ex-student of mine who ended up as chairman of one of the biggest oil companies in the world, and I said to him, John, what do you do all day, sitting up there at the top of this enormous tower? And he said, well, Charles, it doesn't sound very exciting, but actually what I do is I sit in a chair up there or around the world where we operate, sometimes with one or two of my colleagues, sometimes by myself, and I listen to endless people presenting me with proposals, ideas, presentations, analyses, and so on, and all I do is to ask questions. And he said, it doesn't sound exciting, but I think it's the right thing to do. My job is to ask the questions. Theirs is to answer them, because that's the only way they're actually going to do anything about my questions, if they compose the answers, not me. Listening, not only to yourself, but to others, is absolutely essential. Don't tell your children what to do. Ask them what they want to do and get them to lecture you. Then they will learn. But you've got to pay attention. Pay attention. I asked a distinguished theatrical director in London what the secret of acting was. And he thought for a moment and he said, paying attention. Paying attention to the other actors on stage. Paying attention to the words that were written that he had learned or she had learned. Paying attention. And I think that all great leaders, and apart from respect, which is part of it, learn to listen, to pay attention, and get other people to do the talking to them. And it's so tempting, isn't it, to do what I'm doing now, to stand up on a platform in front of all the troops and pontificate. So why am I doing this? Because I wanted to learn what impact Peter Drucker had had on me. And the only way to do that was to persuade the Drucker Institute to invite me to come and talk to you so that I could learn. So thank you very much for you doing the listening so that I can actually learn by talking to you.